Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Let's Play Nobody Saves the World. Let me just make sure everything's recording correctly. Seems like it is. Alright, it is time for us to carry on with our with our 100% Let's Play. So, what we're gonna do, obviously the main part of this Let's Play is gonna be playing the actual game in New Game Plus, but before we do that, I'm gonna be finishing, or hopefully finishing, the Impossible Dungeon. The main reason I'm doing this first, I guess there are a couple reasons. Number one, I think the actual game itself is gonna be the, the more fun, the more interesting thing. And especially in terms of how it ends, like a more satisfying note to end on would be, the main quest from the main story. The Impossible Dungeon was a free update added, and it's a lot of fun, but I don't expect it to be as emotionally impactful when we get this final statue upgrade compared to when we play the actual game. So I was like, let's do this first, and then we'll do the actual game, and then we'll end on the most satisfying note. There's one other reason, is that the Impossible Dungeon, the point of this update, at least the way I see it, wasn't to give a whole bunch of like deep narrative content, although there is a bit of that with this guy especially, which is why I highly recommend you at least do a little bit of it yourself if you're playing the game yourself. Like it really, the story with this guy really is hilarious. I cannot emphasize enough just how awesomely funny the writing in this game is. But yeah, like there's a bit of narrative stuff, but the main thing is, I feel, to show off the technical aspects of the game, which is just how crazy you can get with different builds and different combinations. And as I mentioned, for the Impossible Dungeon, the main thing we're going to be doing is trying to max out the pedestal, which should hopefully happen in just one more level. To do that, we're going to have to get tickets in the Impossible Dungeon, and to do that, we're going to have to go into the Impossible Dungeon. But, so there were two ways I could have done that. One is, well, first I'm going to acknowledge that I'm out of the 573 tickets that we need for the final upgrade. 984 of them I already had from my previous run, which was actually a pretty good run. But the remaining roughly 4,800, we're not going to get all of them in a single run. No matter how good I play, I don't think, because there's a bit of a luck element as well, I don't think we're going to be getting that in one go. So rather than trying to rush it, rather than trying to do like multiple runs squeezed into this episode, I'm like, okay, let's maybe take it a bit slowly, right? We'll do a run. We won't necessarily be trying to make it the most efficient run, and then I can use it as a way to explain my build, so to speak, my loadout, I guess that's a better way to put it, for how I approach the Impossible Dungeon. Let's start out by talking about which forms I'm going to be using. I'm mainly going to be using the bodybuilder form for most of it. For boss fights specifically, I will be switching over to the Lich form. For, like, let's say if I need to get across very quickly, like if I've gone down the wrong path and I need to backtrack, or if I just need to rush to the exit, I have the dragon form at the ready. This is important because it can fly, and it can go over certain obstacles that the ground-based forms can't. And then I have the egg form for a very specific reason, which I think is best explained when we're actually in the dungeon itself. I do have to fix up... Oh, I do have to fix up... Oh. Oh, shit. I've forgotten how my... there we go. For a moment, I just forgot my controls. I do need to fix my forms a little bit, so... Yeah, this is the loadout I had for my previous run, and I change my skills depending on what the levels are throwing at me. This is slightly off. I'm going to change this to scavenge. I'm going to remove zom nom nom in place of where is it? Fleet-footed. And I'm going to, in the place of this, I'm going to put unstoppable underlings. So let's look at what each of these do. Health items give more mana. I mean, that's a pretty straightforward bonus. It means that it's easier for us to keep our mana topped up. The other thing that I had, which is magic life, is another way to solve the mana problem. But I only put this on in cases where the game tells us, because sometimes there are modifiers that make the levels harder. One of the modifiers could be no health pickups. Just no health pickups in the entire level. And if I'm relying on health to give me mana, I might go for magic life instead. So, you know, depending on what the level throws at you, you adjust. Unstoppable underlings is actually pretty important because turning enemies into zombies is a big part of this build. It just helps. It helps kill enemies pretty quickly because the zombies can then spread out. They can kill, you know, like when there's one enemy off in the corner and you're too lazy. You don't want to waste time going and killing it. Your zombies can do that for you. They can also save you because enemies will often attack the zombies instead. So there's that. And also, I should talk about the other skills that I have. Dodge I have mainly as a getting around, like a mobility skill. Because you can see, like, look at how long it takes us to get from one end to the other, like just walking, even with the speed bonus. Look at how long it took us. And then look at how long it takes with the dashes, right? There's no comparison. Obviously, the dashes help you out a lot. So this is the basic loadout that we have, and I also have this ability, Water Spray, which I'm not going to be using in the early levels, but later on when enemies start getting wards, the ability to the right I'll swap out depending on what I need. If I need to break purple wards, I'll have a purple ability, or I'll just use this ability. If I need to break green wards, I have this, but for an extra boost, I can go for, you know, something like Razor Claw. You'll see a lot of these abilities in action. I should also talk about my basic ability, the signature ability, which is your basic attack. For the bodybuilder, it is this attack called the bench press. And in conjunction with his like signature passive ability, Strongman, means that we're going to be knocking enemies away, and they'll be bumping into walls, bumping into each other, and then taking a lot of extra damage that way. So that's going to be another way for us to kill enemies quickly. Right. I think that's about as much background information that I can give you. The rest of it is just going to have to come as we play. So let's just go. I'm gonna probably be limiting my commentary to like these pit stops that you get in between levels, because the timer is paused. It gives me some time to talk for a bit. When we're actually in the levels, I'm going to be concentrating. I'm going to be trying to get through as quickly as possible, and I'm not going to be as talkative. during them. Um, but occasionally I'll see I'll see if I have the wherewithal to offer intelligent commentary while I'm trying to rush through these dungeons. Without further ado, I think it's time for us to get going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah, I left that enemy without killing it because there's just a... he's just a lone enemy. And the thing about lone enemies is... well, the thing about the objectives that you've got to do is you've got to kill a certain number of enemies. And the way this works is that there are more enemies on the level than what you need to kill. And you don't get anything extra for killing more enemies than you need to. So what you should be doing is trying to get as quickly as you can to the minimum and then just rushing to the exit. Now already we've got to kill 42, which is a very high number for just the second stage. There's a bit of a variation in terms of the range of how many enemies the game asks you to kill. Sometimes you get unlucky and the game just asks you to kill an unreasonable amount of enemies and you lose time that way. Sometimes you get really lucky, like even in later levels you get really lucky and you only have to kill a small number of enemies. So there's a big luck element to this as well. Part of what makes game modes like this interesting. But yeah, 42 is a very high number to be getting this early. But anyway, let's, instead of complaining, let's just try and get through this. Ooh, also we have these really annoying enemies because they do knockback, and anytime they knock you back, they interrupt what you're doing. And you can see our speedy zombies are helping us out a fair amount. Also, remember what the werewolf told us? That you can look up at the map to see where the exit is. Because if I didn't know this, I could have potentially gone to the right and wasted time. But now that I've seen that the exit is to the left, I'm just going to go straight there. Also, that blue chest that I opened, which seemingly didn't give us anything except for a couple, you know, like a number that popped up. These chests just add to your time total. You might have also noticed that I left a chest there unopened. I could have opened it, I wouldn't have lost that much time, but the thing is, the only thing you get out of chests, the only interesting thing you'd get out of chests is either gold, we're maxed out on gold, or upgrade tokens, you know, those blue things. So, to the right, to the top right, they're gold, there's these star tokens, those are kind of like quest-related items. And then those blue things with the arrow on them are upgrade tokens, which you can use to upgrade your abilities. We're still finding them, but they're useless to us because everything is already maxed out. And the only other thing you can find in chests that can actually be useful is food items. And I didn't really need them because I am close to max health already. Speaking about health, I will now explain why I have the egg form as one of my quick forms. Or one of the ones that I routinely switch to. So the ones on the orthogonal directions are the ones that I'm going to be using. So let's take a look at the egg's abilities. One, this is the passive ability. I haven't even put all of the other passives. I guess I could put fleet-footed. Why not? But the main thing that I have for the egg is this ability called Incubate, which recovers 225 health per second. The thing about Incubate is that this value of 225 per second doesn't depend on the base health of the... where is it? Where is it? Yeah, it doesn't depend on the base health of what form you're using. So the bodybuilder has 7,000 base health. He still gets the same 225 health per second. The egg with like 1/7 the health of the bodybuilder gets that same 225. And so what you can do is, because the egg has such low max health, you can use incubate to get your max health up very quickly without spending a lot of mana at all. And then when you switch to your high level forms, because the percentage of health is conserved in between forms, it'll immediately be put back to max health. Right now, I didn't really need to do this because it's really early on, but later on, it's going to be a good way for us to make sure that we're always basically topped up for our health. Another thing about how the Impossible Dungeon works in general is that every it goes in cycles of 6. So every... let me figure out a better way to put this. So you have 2 floors that are just normal floors, where all you have to do is kill enemies and get to the exit. Then the 3rd floor will be a sort of arena floor where waves of enemies will spawn on top of you, and then all you have to do is kill them, and then the exit unlocks for you. And then you get another 2 floors of regular enemies, and then you get a boss fight. So this is going to be our first sort of special floor, just fighting a bunch of enemies. And these floors are a good way for you to get your time topped up, because if you do it well... This is annoying though, because the enemies are kind of spawning all over the map. As you can see, our zombies are helping us out quite a bit, getting these enemies killed quickly. And despite like the horrible spawn patterns, despite this nonsense, and by the way, obstacles in this game are irritating, because you would think a flying creature would be able to go over these not very tall tables, but the only obstacle that flight lets you circumvent is like water, or like liquid obstacles, which is still very important because it'll save you time, but unfortunately it doesn't let you get across obstacles like this. Yeah, so like despite this annoying obstacle and despite the enemies spawning in annoying patterns, we finished that in not much time at all. And now we get a bit more time. As you can see, at the end of each level, you not only get your golden tickets, but you get some extra time as well. So you're not just losing time, you're also gaining time, at least until the later levels, when you're taking more time to do them than you're getting in the chest at the end, which is why it's important in the early levels to be as efficient as possible, so you can kind of build up a bank of time that you can then give yourself the ability to take it a little bit slowly if the game throws a really complicated level at you. Now we have, for the first time, modifiers. Our enemies are gonna have slightly more health. They're also gonna be warded against blunt attacks. That means the way wards work is that it's kind of a... It's almost kind of reverse immunity, meaning they're immune to everything else except except for this one kind of damage. Or you have to hit them with this one kind of damage to break their ward, and then you can hit them with any kind of damage. It's hard to explain, probably better to just see in action. So let's go through this. Luckily, this is one of the easiest wards for us to deal with, because our basic, just our signature attack does that kind of damage. And not all enemies will have the ward. Like you saw right here, only that one big enemy had the symbol of the ward on top of him, and he was the only one that had the effect of the ward, and everyone else we were just killing normally. And with blunt wards, there are two ways to break that ward, either by directly hitting them with an attack that does blunt damage, like our signature attack, or indirectly, like having this ability and then knocking them into the wall or into another enemy. And so we have multiple ways of doing blunt damage, so that this ward isn't gonna affect us. at all. But now we're just gonna make a way into get there. Okay. Leave that lone enemy. The other thing about having zombies following you is that all of these lone enemies that ooh, gotta kill you. Kill this thing. Oh yeah. These golden butterflies flying around will give you extra golden tickets if you kill them. But if you don't kill them quickly enough, they will escape. They're sort of, you know, like the loot goblin trope. An enemy that gives you a reward, but you've got to kill them quickly, or they'll be gone, and then you'll be sad. We got that one. Also, the reward that they give you is based on what the ticket reward for the floor would have been. So the previous floor, we got 29 tickets at the end. The butterfly also gave us 29 tickets. So if you miss a butterfly early on, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. But later on, you're going to want to, you know, put more of an effort into taking these guys down when they arise. Now, I'm going to switch for the first time to the Lich. I'm going to take a look at what I've got. Crit King, Magic Life. Basically, the Lich form is my boss killer. And I kill bosses mainly with this ability, the Tempest Barrage, which is a robot ability. In fact, I'm using two things from the robot. I'm using this to reduce my damage, and I'm using this to do damage. And then I have a bunch of other things. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out this. So I have this ability to do damage, I have a bunch of passives, and I also use familiars because the signature passive for the Lich is that if you do damage, your familiars are healed. And if you're doing a lot of damage, you can basically keep your familiars alive constantly. The way familiars work is that they can either be killed by enemies, or if they're just standing around not doing anything, they will lose health at a constant rate. But you can keep their health topped up with something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, like Superman Max, I'm going to switch to the bodybuilder just to get, just to save literally that 1 second. And then I'm going to move the boss room, switch to the Lich. My familiars are doing their thing. There's a... Oh no, oh... What is my... Oh no. My turret failed me because these immune enemies, these warded enemies showed up, and my turret wasn't in the correct position. And as you can see, they're losing health slowly, but it doesn't really matter because we've won the level. And even though there was a slight hiccup with those enemies basically acting as bodyguards for the boss, I had to reposition. It was decent in the end. Now we have enemies warded by holy damage, or they have a ward against everything. You've got to hit them with holy damage to break their ward. That is what that yellow symbol is. They're also doing more range damage. I don't mind enemies doing more damage, that's fine. Enemies having more health, that's what I worry about, because that's what can waste your time. Like, if they're doing damage, you're also doing damage, they might kill you, but you can usually avoid that. But it'll be easy for you to kill them. It's the stuff that makes enemies hard to kill, rather than stuff that makes them more deadly. It's the stuff that makes them hard to kill that ultimately is gonna hurt you a lot more in the long run in this impossible dungeon. But yeah, we're gonna be just gonna be dealing with some holy wards. Ooh, also this enemy was wholly warded, and we broke that ward. So were these guys And you gotta... So, those enemies that kind of look like mechanical skulls, those are actually bombs. If you're not careful, they can do a lot of damage to you. But because they will explode, you can kind of use that to your advantage by like dashing through them, triggering their explosion, and then getting away from the explosion, kind of like that, and that can be a way to kill enemies quickly. It does take a bit of practice to pull that off. This enemy type, by the way, is really annoying because it puts wards on enemies that don't normally have wards, right? So then a bunch of regular enemies that you could have normally killed suddenly have wards, and then you've got to break the ward. It's a whole thing. We'll see them in action more and more as we continue, but for now, just be aware that these guys are a thing. Alright. Alright. You gotta be careful. Don't want to take a bunch of hits all at once. Easy. Ooh, I love these Necromancer enemies. I love them because they have an ability that turns your familiars into their familiars. And you're like, hey, why are you saying you love that? That sounds horrible. Yeah, normally it's pretty bad. But oh, I am in a very dangerous position. I'm actually gonna do this. Oh my god, I screwed that up badly. This is what happens when you try and commentate while doing the dungeon. I was trying to use Bless Me, but I should have instead used Ethereal to pass through enemies to get to a safer spot, but I just did. I fucked that up. But we're gonna go back in because that wasn't a proper run. And we got basically nothing. And I'm angry because that was a... Fuck off, man. I hate these knockback enemies so much. Oh, because they interrupt you, they waste so much of your time. It's so annoying. Yep. I was careless, I paid the price. I just wasn't paying attention to my health. I didn't realize until too late that I was at low health, and then I didn't respond in the correct way. To being at low health. Ugh. Listen, I didn't promise you any, world records. I didn't promise you the most skillful gameplay in the world. All I promised you is that you're gonna see something that's technically good enough to get the job done at some point, right? So this is still very much on brand for me. Alright. Let's get our head back in the game. Alright. This is also annoying when they put enemies in like opposite corners. Or like slow enemies. Slow ranged enemies that are just like lumbering towards you. But I mean, we got through it okay in the end. Alright, let's get our head back in the game. Oh, now we have a dark ward, which we can break using the attack. Oh, fuck off, man. I hate these guys so much. These spinning enemies, they'll knock you back, they'll interrupt you. You can equip a passive that makes you immune to both knockback and interrupts. But that's taking up a spot for passives that are actually, you know, more useful in helping you kill enemies directly. Not a fan of these guys, no sir. But as you can see, we got through that okay in the end. Five. Oh yeah. And because the modifiers are they only change. Fuck off! You saw the knock. Oh, that's so annoying. And I was gonna say, because the modifiers change only every 3 floors, I know the boss is gonna have these same modifiers on it. And fuck off, man. I know the boss is gonna have these same modifiers, and therefore I know the boss is gonna be dark warded, and therefore I know my Lich is gonna be able to deal with that ward very easily. So, annoying floor. 2 things can make the floor annoying or easy. Like, 2 things can affect the difficulty. The modifiers, obviously, but also the enemies are randomized. And some enemies are definitely more annoying than others. Again, I'm going to throw down this, I'm going to throw down that, and I'm going to take a step back. And I'm going to avoid the boss's attacks. And so much more smoother than the first time. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Ooh, infected baddies. Okay, now, sometimes, very rarely, sometimes the modifiers are actually good. So you know this ability that I have on the top, which turns enemies into zombies. Enemies are going to start pre-infected, which means I don't have to infect them in order to turn them into zombies. However, for some reason, when enemies are pre-infected, this passive is not going to apply to them. For some reason. So you're going to see when... first of all, you're going to see all of the enemies are going to have the that biohazard sign on top of their heads, indicating that they'll turn into zombies. But you'll also see that the zombies that they turn into are going to be a lot slower. It's like, see how slow these guys are. They're going to be a lot slower than what they normally should be. I'm actually going to go... Oh, there's nothing to the top, okay. So, it's it's definitely good having this, because not only is it kind of a good thing, but it's also a modifier that's coming in place of something that could have been bad. But the only downside is that it, for some reason, it breaks that other passive. But you know what? On balance, I will take this. It is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Alright. Alright, kill you. Basically, my goal for this episode is to have one decent run where I can at least go past the floor 18 boss. And then I've already hit the max. Sometimes you'll see floors like this where the exit is right next to you, and then you've got to go away from the exit to kill enemies and then come back to the exit. And in situations like this, I will switch to the dragon to backtrack. In this case, the dragon wasn't really necessary because there was no, wasn't any water in the floor. It wasn't any of the kinds of obstacles that flight would help you out with, but I'm just really used to turning into the dragon when I need to get around quickly. Alright. Alright. Nice small arena that we're fighting in. Alright. The other good thing about zombies is that they also themselves do dark damage. So they were also, by themselves, breaking the enemy wards. Which is an important thing to note. Alright. Now enemies are warded with sharp damage. Now there is also water obstacles on the map. And in addition to being warded with sharp damage, their holy and dark damage is getting a multiplier, and we have less healing, which I don't mind either of these. What I will do though is I will swap out this for this, just to have an extra option for doing sharp damage. That was that ability in action. I can also break sharp wards by dashing through enemies, like this. Oh, oh god, okay. Alright, we're doing okay. Ooh. Alright. Alright. Should be getting pretty close to finishing. Let's actually just go this direction. And now let's swap to the dragon, save ourselves a bit of time flying over the water. Didn't save ourselves that much time, but still did save a bit of time. Switch to the egg, get our health back. Then get our mana back. Rinse and repeat. 411. Alright. 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 Ooh. What kind of a map is this? Let's go this way. Alright, I guess we gotta go this way. This is an odd map layout. Very odd. Alright, just one more enemy. And we're right by the exit. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Was not too bad. And we're already at full health, so just gotta get our mana back and we're good. So now we have another boss fight. For this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap out this for this. Because these familiars also do sharp damage. It should help us out a little bit against the boss. And we're just gonna go. Throw down a few familiars, throw down a turret, and then just sit on top of the boss. Sit on top of the boss while holding the barrage button. You might be tempted to hang back, be like, oh, I'm gonna take damage, let me fight the boss in a more, conservative way, but don't. Just get the barrage, get the lich, get the critical damage boost, and then just sit on top of him. And not only is that gonna finish the battle more quickly, but on average you'll even lose less health just because of how quickly you're doing the fight. Alright, so now once again we have a good modifier, which is if we break wards we get mana. I love that so much because often depending on how many wards there are, you can just be like permanently at max mana. Oop, we also have our first floor that has traps on it. Oh my god, fuck these guys, man. Ah, okay. Alright. 60 enemies got to kill, which is an okay number. And these leeches, they will target you from a distance, and they're really annoying enemies because they can target you from a distance, and it's just their attack I think is kind of unfair. Do we have to go this way, or let's go a little bit in this direction? But I think this is man. I think this might actually be the correct direction. Alright, I'm gonna need my my companions, my zombie friends to come through, because the enemy density in this zone isn't great. Whatever. I'll help out a little bit. Oh, fuck off. I hate these guys so much. Alright, I'm gonna switch to the dragon, and I'm also gonna use my ability, my top ability, which is I use mana in exchange for making myself invulnerable to damage. When I run out of mana, I start using health because of this passive. After mana is depleted, use health, but you lose health at a very small rate. A lot less health compared to enemies hitting you. Now, enemies hitting you, that's gonna deal a lot more damage. Right, so now we've lost a lot of health. Now it's gonna be imperative to get our health back. But see how easy it was to get all of our health back? And almost even all of our mana. The only reason we were able to do that is because of that trick with the egg. Switching to the egg when you want to heal up. I'm gonna be doing that a lot. Oh, God, these leeches are so annoying. 72 enemies, that's a gigantic number. Ooh, but this is good. Yes, I want these necromancer enemies to turn my own followers against me, because that means I can kill them quickly, and like I can get more kills than I normally would in the level, because the enemy necromancers are. Come on, do it. Yes, yes. Getting nice kills. Getting nice kills. Fuck off. Oh, what? Who's poisoning me? I don't understand, like, why I'm getting poisoned. Clearly, I'm not paying attention. Clearly. Oh, I should have let that guy stay alive a little bit. Hang on. This guy can do the job. Do it. There we go. Alright. See, the annoying thing about these leeches is that they target you from so far away. And they will continue targeting you even when... Look how far away that guy lashed onto me from. And kept doing... I mean, they don't do a huge amount of damage, but it adds up as you're trying to run away. Alright, again, we'll heal up. And again, let's go onwards. This is gonna be a an arena floor, so this should go down pretty quickly. Alright. Alright. Oh, fuck these guys, man. These knockback enemies, they're the worst. Oh, on arena floors, it doesn't help you if your own familiars get turned. Because it's not about getting a number of kills, it's just about killing all the enemies that are there quickly. So in that instance, I don't actually want them to turn. Now we have a status duration doubled, melee damage reduced. This is our first, like, really bad, really annoying floor. But there's nothing to do, but just go for it, and not only are the modifiers annoying, but the wards are also annoying. I mean, I guess the holy ward isn't that bad, but the sharp ward is a little bit awkward to break, because I can't switch to the well, let's go up a little bit, try and get a few kills, maybe. Oh, there's nothing there? Oh, okay. Oh, easy. Annoying wards, annoying modifier. The enemies, I will say, aren't that bad. So that kind of makes up for it. Alright, we're done. So I'm just gonna swap over to Dragon. Fly over to the exit. I didn't really need to do that, but just out of habit. Alright. Already at full health, so all we do is this. And we go on. Almost at floor 18. Gotta kill 64 enemies. Alright. Another sort of trap-based floor, more of these leech annoying enemies. Alright. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Alright. Alright. As you can see, occasionally these enemies are giving wards to the enemies around them. Those giant floating eyeball, whatever the hell they are. Alright. We just gotta start making our way towards the exit. They don't just... So, there are other enemies that also give buffs to them. So, like, this enemy is giving the enemies an attack buff, which can sometimes be very deadly. You can't take them lightly. I'm just gonna ignore all these enemies. And then as soon as you hit the chest at the end, it despawns any enemies that were chasing you. So you don't have to worry about them too much beyond that. And this is gonna be interesting, because we're gonna have a holy ward and a sharp ward. You know what? Heal up. The heal also does damage, so I moved away from these objects, because breaking objects is one way to get your mana back. It's a bit of a trick. If you're healing, you want to get your mana back later, try not to smash these objects. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll make this that. I'll make this Valerie again. By the way, this ability, Summon Valerie, is something you unlock in the DLC. I forget what the DLC is called. Frozen Hearth, I think. It's a good one. It's a good ability. She also does holy damage, and the other familiars that we will have are gonna do sharp damage. And we're gonna hope that this is enough to let us take down this boss without too much trouble. Now this boss, his gimmick is that he will make clones or like mirror images of himself, but only one of them is actually only one of them is the real one, and that's the only one that counts. Luckily, we were able to rush him down pretty quickly without the enemies interfering with us too much. Sometimes it can be a bit of a handful. So we've beaten my triple ward floor. Ah, now we're starting to see the triple ward floors. Luckily, signature hits don't regen mana. Okay, and mana cost is 2.5 times. Okay. So we'll keep this. I'll actually take down fleet-footed, because we have a bit of a... we've built up a bit of a stockpile of time. So because signature hits don't regen mana, there's a couple things we could do. We could have... I think you've got to go with Magic Life. I mean, we're just gonna have to see how this goes. Oh, easy, easy. Yeah, we still, our familiars are still quick. That's the important thing. Alright, this is gonna be... this is our first, like, properly, like, majorly challenging floor. Oi, 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 easy, easy. Alright. Easy. 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 Alright, alright, alright. We're doing fine. Oh. Easy. Oh, fuck off. Oh, God. Come on, man. I'm about to die. I need to take a step back. I need to pick up some health. Easy. And we've won. So now I'm going to swap over to the dragon, and I'm going to fly to the exit. Oh, I'm actually going to get some health, because kind of need it. And that was the first floor where we lost time. Took more time to complete it than what we got back at the end. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. The combination of not regenning mana and double mana cost. Sometimes the bad things can synergize with each other to really put you in a tough spot. Enemies as well are a little bit annoying in the fact that these underground enemies, these hands that pop up, they are warded. And they don't lose their ward until after they pop up. So sometimes you'll just have a random enemy that's immune and just blocking everything. It's really kind of irritating. I'm actually gonna go down. Do I want to go down? Ah, no, I don't want to go down. This is just a easy. Come on. Oh no, okay, I'm screwed. I'm actually gonna switch over to you. I'm gonna do this. Get my health back a little bit, and now I'll continue. Oh, fuck off. Oh no, oh god. This is miserable. Man, this is... God, how do I fucking deal with this? Jesus, fuck off, dude. You know what, I'm gonna take Magic Life off, and I'm gonna put Mermaid's Resolve on. Yeah, this is a really bad combination of... I'm gonna have to... Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna put this on to try and, like, leech some health out of the damage that I do. We're losing a lot of time on this stupid floor. This is no... There's no good way to deal with it. I guess we'll do this again. Why not? Where's the exit? I'm even going in the wrong fucking direction. Alright. You know, just leave this enemy. There's no point dealing with your nonsense. Alright, let's just go. Okay, this is good because this should give us the get us pretty close to what we need. But this is just a bad floor. Just not a good floor, man. It took up so much of our time. Like, signature hits not regenning mana and double mana cost. Fuck off, game. Fuck off, game. Alright, let's just... Alright. Let's just cut our losses and just go to the exit. Just terrible floor. At least the next floor is going to be an arena floor, so we'll get through it pretty quickly. But this was like a fatal blow to our run, in the sense that it took up so much of our time. This is what happens when you get unlucky, is that oh no, oh fuck off. I tried to use my... fuck off, man. Oh god. Fuck off. These underground guys being blunt warded is also really irritating. Or like having any ward other than the dark ward. Normally you expect to gain time doing these arena levels, but I think we might actually just be losing more time because of this fucking nonsense. Oh god. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Pieces of trash. Ugh. God, this is such a miserable floor. Look at that. It's back. Get this back, and hopefully the next floor is going to be less of a, you know, dumpster fire. We do get a bit of extra time, so that's nice. You get any food? No? No food? Fine. Fine, be that way. Kills, restore mana. Player heals affect all. Okay. This is actually not that bad. This is not that bad. Heal to full. Oh, no, yeah, out of my way. I was trying to break this. Anything else that I can break? No. Alright, so what do I want? I want to replace this with... What am I missing? Oh yeah. Unstoppable underlings. Now, player heals affect all means if you heal, then nearby enemies will also heal. It usually doesn't really matter, because you're generally killing enemies pretty quickly. At least we can get our mana back. At least mana cost isn't outrageously high. Ooh, but enemies are going to be exploding, so let's not just dilly-dally in the midst of enemy corpses after we kill them, because that can be a pretty deadly situation to be in. Alright. Easy. Yeah, just kill that dude. Easy. Easy, easy. Even though we lost a lot of time, we shouldn't be reckless. Should go down a little bit. Alright. Less than 10 enemies, and I'm gonna take a gamble, and I'm gonna say there's gonna be 10 enemies up here. In fact, there are. So I'm just gonna say goodbye to all of these enemies, rush straight to the exit, and we're gonna... We were hurt really badly by that collection of floors where there was mana cost increase, there was we couldn't regenerate our mana from signature hits. That hurt us so badly. But you know what? That's just part of the game. Easy. Alright. Easy. 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 And I'm trying to pay attention to what the different enemies on the screen are warded with to hit them with the correct damage type, while also trying to move through relatively quickly. Okay, getting pretty close. Alright, but we do want to kind of be a bit quick. Alright. Yeah, now I'm just gonna switch over to the dragon. We were pretty close to the end anyway, but might as well switch to the dragon to save ourselves a bit of damage that we would have otherwise taken. And yeah, let's just keep going. Oh, you know what? Let me heal up first. Don't want to be the magician. Now we are gonna have another boss fight, and there's gonna be sharp, dark, and blunt. So I'll switch back to the turret familiar, which is from one of the DLC classes. It does blunt damage, and then I'll switch back to the magician familiars. Other than that, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Alright. Okay, so this boss again. The first 3 bosses are always going to be the same kind. But beyond that, the bosses can be random. So the first boss will always be a crab boss. The second boss will always be the that weird boomerang throwing thing. The third boss will always be the one that makes copies of itself. But after that, you can have different kinds of bosses show up, and some of them can even repeat. In this case, we had a repeat of the crab boss, which is a bit annoying to take down because he. By the way, when the modifier says corpses explode, it includes the corpses of your own familiars. By the way, this is something that I never noticed. So, show you, where is it? Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? There we go. So, this is the one of the abilities that I was using with the Lich. An animal familiar, usually a rabbit. Sometimes it summons the tiger, like it's luck-based, and then the animals fight for you. So we summoned a tiger. We got pretty lucky. One thing I never noticed is that when the tiger dies, this is what happens when the bunny dies. Looks pretty sad. When the tiger dies, it turns into a tiger skin rug, which I think is just hilarious. Okay. Once again, we have exploding corpses. A decent set of wards. We have very high mana cost, but we have ways to get our mana back. We aren't being limited in that. And luckily, these guys are dark warded. But the mana cost is hurting us pretty badly. exploding corpse is also hurting us quite a bit. Maybe I should... Maybe I should put some defensive passive on. I think we'll be fine though. Easy. Yeah, the zombies are really helping us out. Taking out these enemies. Easy. I think now we should kind of start going towards the exit. Because I think we'll find 25 enemies along the way. We won't have to backtrack, hopefully. There's 3 of them. We are getting low on time. I think we're gonna be... We're probably gonna run out of time, is what's gonna end this run in the dungeon. But we did okay. We did okay. Listen, all you can do is your best. God, time is really getting low. Alright. Skip all these enemies. Imagine how long it would have taken to fight through all of them. Saved a lot of time doing that. Okay. Got our mana back. Yeah, I think this run is it's not long for this world. It's gonna be... Easy. Come on, man. Easy. God. 69 enemies. Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys, man. These bozos. The mana cost is hurting like hell. You know what? I'm gonna take fleet-footed off, and I'm gonna put magic life on. Because we're dashing around anyway, so in the interest of being able to use my abilities more often, I'm gonna actually go down a little bit and get a few of these kills. Easy. 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 Don't want to get hit by the big scary enemy. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. I also legitimately don't know where the exit is. We could get it going this way. I'm gonna guess that it's to the left. And if I'm wrong, well, that might actually just cost us this this level. I think maybe I'm right. Easy. Oh no. Or we're just gonna die. Or we're just gonna die. That's also a perfectly plausible way for this adventure to end. But I think we might be okay. Ooh, we're fine. We're just fine. We're barely fine. Skip all of that nonsense and let's just go. Okay. Wow. Alright. Oh, fuck off, man. I'm gonna do this. And now we have a like sort of an arena floor coming up. I'm just gonna go for it. Oh, it's the... Fuck, these guys, man. Come on. I hate them. Slow to kill. They're annoying. And it's like a big spread out arena, so it's hard to fucking like get to enemies. Oh my god. One thing I don't like about this game is that for boss fights, it does this thing where it zooms out, and the camera... Fuck off! The camera stops following you, and it can be hard to tell where you even are standing on the map. Fuck off, man. I wish it wouldn't zoom out. I see why it does it, to make it more dramatic. But with all the chaos, it can legitimately sometimes be hard to tell where you're standing. No health pickups. Interesting. They're doing extra damage. No health pickups means this is gonna be useless. It also means... Well, I mean, it means most likely the run is gonna end on this floor. But it does mean that this is entirely useless. So in its place, we can put, I don't know, something like this. Brick wards get mana. Let's just try our best. Let's see if we can like squeeze through to the end. What do we have? Oh, we're fucked. This collection of enemies is just too obnoxious for me to have any confidence in my ability to take them down. And I mean, we'll try our best. We'll try our best, but we're kind of screwed. I think we might even just straight up die, because there's no way for us to get our health back. I mean, we're getting a little bit of our health back, but not really enough to be competitive. I mean, I can do this, I guess, but it's not going to be a long-term viable way of competing in this cruel environment that we find ourselves in. Oh, but despite all of that, we've gotten kind of close. We might be able to do like one more floor. Oh, but the exit is kind of far away as well. I tell you what, let's do a bit of healing. We might be able to get like one more. Oh, but we're gonna have to get fucking like really close, or like we're gonna have to move, man. Oh no, we're fucked. We're fucked. Oh, maybe we're not fucked. Maybe we're not fucked. We're gonna have to... Oh no, I got stuck. Oh no, we're definitely fucked. Because you can't fly. Oh, what did I get stuck on there? Oh no. Oh my fucking goodness. Oh, how did I pull that one off? Okay. Jesus. Okay. Well, we got one more floor out of it. A good amount of tickets as well. However, there's no way we're gonna finish this floor in 1 minute. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of even trying to do the floor, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly around. I'm gonna see if maybe I'll explore as much of the map as I can, which normally you shouldn't do if you're trying to actually win a floor. I'm just gonna fly around like this. I'm gonna see if I can maybe find some of those butterflies. Excuse me? What? Is the layout was a little bit strange. Couldn't figure out which way I could go. Yeah, see this one, it's debatable whether we could have even... We could have flown all the way to the end in a minute, but there's no way we could have done that while also killing enemies. I don't think we've seen any of those butterflies. Whoa, good joke. Good jokes from the game, giving us a time chest just to prolong our agony a little bit. Yeah. Didn't find any butterflies, and I don't mind the fact that I basically threw that floor because it was never gonna happen. Right, so we got 2,672 tickets. We reached floor 29. As you can see, my best is 43, and my best in tickets is nearly 7,000. Had we had it run that good, we would have smashed, you know, the ticket requirement for the pedestal. But you know what? It's okay. And this guy, every time you die, no matter how well you do, he'll say something insulting. I mean, in this case, he's just feeling bad for himself. But usually he says, he responds to what you've done. He never acknowledges if you've done well. He's always just he's a very negative person. So don't let him get to you. In this case, he asks, is the pain of death really worth humiliating me over and over again? To which my answer is an emphatic yes. Yes it is, because fuck you. Alright. So I think that's we're gonna call it for this episode. Hope you got a sense of the interesting complexity that you can have in this game, where you've got to adjust your build, your abilities, your passives even, in response to what the game throws at you. And there are, by the way, other dungeon modifiers that we haven't seen yet that can really make things crazy, but for now, these are the ones that we saw, and we saw a lot of them. But there are a couple of them that hopefully we get to see in the next episode, because they can really change things up quite a bit. But we saw a good amount. We saw a lot of the enemies. We didn't see all of the bosses. In fact, we only saw the 3 basic ones. The boss on floor 24 could have been a different boss, but instead it just rolled one of the old ones. That's okay. We might see some of the new bosses in the next episode. That's fine. What I'm going to do is, in preparation for the next episode, I'm just going to switch out my abilities a little bit. There we go. There we go. And with that, I think it is time to draw things to a close. It was a very chaotic episode. I fully acknowledge that, but that's just what the Impossible Dungeon is like. You're thrown into the mix. You don't know what sort of modifiers you're going to face. You don't know what enemies you're going to face. You don't know what bosses you're going to face. And you just have to reach into your bag of tricks, your abilities, your passives, your different forms, and decide which one or which collection of forms is going to be the best answer to the questions that the game is asking of you. And for me, as I mentioned at the start, I mainly have been using the bodybuilder, the lich, the dragon, and the egg. Each of them have their own specialized role in how I go about doing this dungeon. But anyway, like I said, that is going to be all for this episode. Next episode, one way or another, we're going to be finishing the Impossible Dungeon. We only need about like 1900 tickets, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get. Might have to do a couple runs, but one way or another we will be getting those tickets, and then we will see what this douchebag has to say once you've upgraded every single statue on this pedestal. That's gonna happen next time. For now, it's time for me to say thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time, and I hope you'll join me in the next episode as well. And until then, take care.